Hello, everyone. I do have some updates that I want to share in the midst of all this craziness that's going on with these ESL companies that are teaching to China. There's a lot going on, some good and some not so good. So, first, I'll start with the stuff that's not so good. Okay, so in response to my last video that I put out about the changes that are happening in China and how they're trying to put restrictions on teaching, after school teaching and tutoring in China. If you have not seen that video, please go ahead and check it out. I'll leave it in the cards. But in response to that, my question was like, when is this all going to happen? And somebody did comment and say that they think September 1st. September 1st has been going around, and that could well be the case. There could be something planned for September 1st. That sounds about the time that the kids are going to be going back to school. But there are things that are happening right now in a lot of companies. So if you have not already been aware of them, let me just share some things with you that has been happening with these companies now, like inside the companies with staff. Okay. One, like with, I've heard, I don't teach with Zebra English, but I do know that Zebra English has stopped hiring right now, along with Landy. Landy they have stopped hiring. They have suggested that people start looking for other employment. And then, even before then, Paul Fish, they had already started cutting down the teachers' pay. So they've already done a lot of teachers' cuts there. So I don't know that they're turning teachers away right now, or if they're on a hiring freeze or not. I don't know for sure, but I do know that they've had extreme pay cuts, and that sounds like it's probably because of what's been going on. If you know of any more information that you'd like to share with everybody, just so we can know and be in the know, please leave your comments down below. I'm just sharing with you stuff that I know of. Okay. And then Magic Years. Magic Years, they've actually started to give teachers longer contracts. They have, since last Saturday, I've been seeing a lot of teachers have been offered a 3-year contract, which is not a normal length of time. Usually they're just 6 months, but they've been extending 3-year contracts with teachers. It seems like they're going down the list and offering teachers these contracts. And I think it's just to kind of like help everyone to feel settled, like, help everyone to feel like, oh, we are still going to be moving on and partnering with you, and don't worry. But I mean, just because you have a contract doesn't necessarily mean that they're still going to be around, because even if the company dissolves, their contracts do too. But I don't think they're going to dissolve, and they're a great company. I don't think they're going to just be done away with. I think these companies are just going to pivot and change and just start teaching in different ways, maybe hiring more of their teachers that are local more so than foreign teachers. But anyhow, that's what Magic Years is doing. They are offering their teachers extended contracts. So that's positive, but it just seems a little different. And I did actually contact them, and I reached out to somebody in the referral department, and I just asked if they were still hiring. They said they were hiring. I don't know what that means. Then I have listened to other teachers like Teacher Lexi, and she has done interviews with these companies, and she says that they were still having her do interviews with Zebra English, even though she knew and they told her that they weren't hiring anymore. So that can be kind of like deceptive. I'm not saying that they're being deceptive, but I'm just saying it doesn't always mean what we think it means. Okay, you go on an interview, doesn't mean you're going to get classes. You might get hired, but are you going to, are there going to be any classes for you to teach? I don't know. But anyhow, they are still hiring. And then English First, I felt like they were the most transparent, because that's one of the problems here. It's like we're going through all these changes, but not many companies are being very open about it, about what's happening. They're not keeping us in the know. So English First, I feel like they have been the most upfront about things. Well, one, I won't say the only company that's been upfront, but they did put out a letter that was very positive, in letting the teachers know that they meant enough to the company that they should reach out to them. And, they went through, I could read the whole letter. I don't really want to bore you with all the details, but I'll just read a little bit of it. Many of you have seen details published over the weekend regarding the new policies for the education industry announced by the Chinese government. The main focus is to reduce the stress level among Chinese students, to perform well on tests, and to reduce the financial burden among parents. The changes announced were expected and we have prepared over the past months to be in a strong position. This includes investments in a new approach for 2 to 6-year-old children, the development of new high flyers content, which will be aligned with public school grades, and new supplementary programs focused on non-subject learning. In light of these new regulations, we have stopped selling our Small Stars product and expect that program, albeit small in volume, to be phased out over the course of the next couple of months. We are confident when looking at our corporate structure, our licenses, and our program portfolio, we have a major benefit versus other players in the market. EF is not a test prep company or a recently started online business. Over the past almost 30 years in China, we have focused on giving students confidence and a whole child education, including the skills that they need to be successful academically and in life. Over the next year, we expect that implementation guidelines will vary in different cities. We will therefore be flexible to offer our programs within the guidelines to ensure that all our existing students and as many new students as possible can learn with us. The times that we are going through now are tough for the industry, but are also exciting and full of opportunities for us. Opportunities that will shape the growth for EF Kids and Teens Centers, hybrid and online learning over the next 5, 10, and 30 years in China. Best regards. So that's really encouraging that they're talking about 10, 30 years. They see that they're going to be working with this kids program. So that was really nice of them to outline it like that. I think that, I kept on reading because I felt like it was really helpful information, and we probably all want to know what's going on. There was a lot of good details in there to help us to understand the situation a little bit better, and maybe even think like EF might be something you want to lean towards. They have an adult program and they have a kids program. Maybe you want to work for the adult program now and wait to work for the kids program later on. But so that gives you just a glimpse. So on a positive note, Cambly is hiring. Cambly and Cambly Kids is hiring. They are accepting applications. They teach worldwide. Actually, I do know of someone who tried to apply and they got hired that same day. So it might just depend on the time that you're applying. Like if you're applying, like if they hire in batches and you just happen to be applying on the day that they're looking at applications, well, maybe that's the reason why you get hired quicker than other people. But some people have to wait. They're waiting for weeks and 2 weeks and 3 weeks or more. And I say, if you are waiting that long, please explore other options. Don't wait. Explore, apply to more than one company at a time. I just did a video about Cambly alternatives. So if you have not seen that, I will leave it in the cards so that you can check it out and see other companies that are like Cambly that have similar requirements. So something that you can look into. Also, if you are not doing private tutoring, this is the time to do private tutoring right now. Trying to find parents who are looking for companies outside of their companies that they were going through. They might just want to have that private, because you know what, even though companies in China might stop their hiring of foreign teachers, or they might change the way that they're doing things, parents still want to have this. And if parents have money, they still will buy lessons for their kids, and they'll just do it privately. So I've talked about that. I've talked about how you could do that using Fiverr, but I don't think Fiverr is advertised in China. So you have to do it a different way, and that's done through WeChat. I've heard about doing this before. I was not really successful at finding any parents this way, but I know you could do it. And actually, if you're already a subscriber to Online Teacher Dude's channel, he actually had a live talking to a lady who is from China who was very helpful in talking about how she could describe and explain this whole process to you. Check out his latest video if you're not already familiar, Online Teacher Dude. He had interviewed Minji, I want to say her name was, and she has a blog. I will try to leave the information down below in the description box so that you can find it. But she can help you in learning how to advertise yourself on WeChat, and that is what is widely used in China by parents, and you can connect with parents through WeChat and advertise your services. So that is one way to do it, and you might get paid higher than what you were getting paid at the ESL company that you are working for, because you'll be able to direct you'll cut out the middleman. So that might be a really good way for you to do it. So just a suggestion. And also Bling ABC, I contacted them and I asked them if they were hiring. They said they were still hiring. I still have classes with them. I have not seen anything that has changed with them yet. They said they would keep us posted. They didn't say that for sure that nothing was going to change. They just said they were still hiring and they would keep us posted about changes. So we, Bling ABC seems to be doing strong with their classes. They also have group classes that are offered to classrooms. So I wonder if that has something that might help them to continue, like since they're partnering with schools, because they're partnering with the schools, that might not really affect them and their teaching, hiring us to teach lessons. You see, I don't know. I'm just speculating, I really don't know. But one more thing I want to say, I think I already said this, but Magic Ears said they were still hiring. When I contacted them, they said they were still hiring. So those are some leads for you, some updates. If you are worried about all of this, please know there are other things, other companies, other places to work outside of these companies in China. Although if you do have a, nice solid group of regulars with some of these companies, I know it's very heartbreaking. I have gone through where I had to stop working for companies, and it was very heartbreaking for me. So I understand, but I hear a lot of people who just sound like, oh, this is the end of, teaching English online, and we're all doomed. It's not. We're not doomed. There are so many other options. There's Outschool. Outschool is starting to branch off into other countries. They want to promote more of more to countries that are in Asia, and it sounds like they want to promote more of a ESL type class. I don't know exactly all the details about it, but Outschool is branching out, and there's so many companies that teach to other countries. Latin Higher, Open English. I've done videos on these. NovaKid. I've heard people are getting hired with NovaKid recently. Off the top of my head, Online Kids Academy. That's another one. It teaches the kids in Europe. Halo, that's a new one. You can make up to $30 an hour with group classes, and they do provide material curriculum for you, or you can design your own. So these are a couple of options for you to look into. So please don't feel like this is the end and we are doomed. We have options. We have options. So, and if you know of some other options that you want to share, please leave them in the comments so that we can all benefit from this and we can all pull together, help each other through this. Yes, we will have to adjust and pivot and do something different, but we can do this. There are so many options, and companies in America are starting to sprout up everywhere. They might not be ESL companies, but there's private tutoring, yes, homework help, reading buddies. There's a lot of things that are just popping up for teachers to take advantage of, and they're not cheap. They're not giving you cheap pay. It's like $20 an hour for some of these companies. So I hope this was helpful and inspiring in this time when we're all trying to figure out what to do. There are some things for you to do. So that's all for now, and please take care of yourselves. Bye.